Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandabits, Namandabits, Namandabits.
Good morning and welcome to the Shotsuki Hoyo service for the months of July and August. We will begin with silent meditation led by Reverend Sterling.
Please join me in Gasho. An auspicious day. Don't chase the past or long for the future. The past is left behind. The future is not yet reached. Right where it is, have insight into whatever phenomena is present. Not faltering and not agitated. By knowing it, one develops the mind. Ardently do what should be done today. Who knows? Death may come tomorrow. There is no bargaining with mortality and his great army. Whoever dwells thus ardent, active day and night, says the peaceful sage, one who has an auspicious day. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandabits, Namandabits, Namandabits.
At this time, we'll have the reading of the Shotsuki Hoyo names for the months of July and August by Reverend Sterling.
Good morning, everyone. At this time, I will start with the July list first, and then I will announce when I start with August. At the end of the list or during the list, when a name comes up from someone that you'd like to Oshoko for, you're welcome, more than willing to come to the front and Oshoko. And then at the end of today's list, if there's anyone who was not mentioned that you would like to recognize as passing in the months of July or August, I also welcome you as well. July Shotsuki list. Mitsuko Kawamoto, Candice Chitose Oyama, Diane Tachiki Hutchinson, Gladys Yoshiko Emori, Akitoshi Inoue, Yuroko Hagio, Haruko Nakatani, Dr. Y. Miyamoto, Henry Shimada, Naganori Uchiyama, Jonathan Herrera, Yoshiko Iwataki, Jack Takeguchi, Hideo Ochi, Chie Ito, N. Nishiguchi, Keizo Ida, Tsuneji Suda, Tamio Okano, Jim Doi, Don Morimoto, Eugene Terada, Christine Shimizu, Kazukiyo Oto, Kurume Doi, Komeno Sakamoto, Sakio Kawamoto. Tom Itsumi Hayashi. Michiko Koba. Harry Kawamoto. Toshio Hashimoto. Fusako Inoue. Wasa Osaki. Matsu Ito. Torio Ishisaki. Yukie Shiosaki. Yutaka Takasugi. Fujino Shimizu. Katsu Tanizaki. Noboru Sakaguchi. Shigeo Yamanishi. Hideo Suyenaga. Toshitaro Yamashita. Kingo Ouchi. Chie Kyutoku. Zenichi Ogawa. Kosaburo Ishino. Sanroku Kawasaki. Kijiro Kinoshita. Kichinaga Iwasaki. Masakuzu Ishizu. Jiro Muraoka. Tari Otomo. Mine Ogata. Sharon Yamaguchi. Chosuke Hamaka. Kikujiro Shinoda. Kazue Murakami. Mitsu Iwata. Haru Hayashi. Sune Hayashi. Hidekichi Doi. Kohichi Kuwada. Fumino Honda. Takeo Okuma. Kinosuke Tsuneyoshi. That was the end of July. Please feel free to give Oshoko for anyone that was not mentioned today who has passed in the month of July. I will now begin the month of August. Howard Kuwada. Kiyoshi Kawasaki. Jeff Malmgren. Miyoshi Horiuchi. Yoshiko Watanabe. Yachie Motobu. Betty Tsuneko Yano. Kaname Ken Nakamura. Kyoko Omori. Lillian Atsuko Sekishiro. Florence F. Yamashita. Florence Suyako Mizuki. Kyoko Ochi. Takashi Furukawa. Jackie Newcomer. Masa Nishinaga. Rodney Furuya. Fusae Akiyama. Yukie Hayashi. Hisako Helen Matthews. Michiko Kishimoto. Margarita Rodriguez. Tesu Yamasaki. Hisatoshi Ueji. Kyoko Nakamura. Mitsu Hachisu. Roy Nakatani. Stephen Yamamoto. Sakura Ralph Goya. Tomeno Kinoshita. Toyoichi Tanaka. Janet Takaguchi. Paul Shimizu. James Balu. Kitoji Ninomiya. Michiko Kitagawa, Saburo Muraoka, Hatsue Kobayashi, Masuyo Fuji, Fuji Hashiguchi, Onoe Ito, Kan Nishinaga, Masahide Kuroe, Misao Taniguchi, Denichi Kawasaki, Mina Murata, Kenjiro Nakamura, Kanichi Suji, Mitsu Ohara, Hatsuko Takasugi, Toku Matsumoto, Genshichi Nabeta, Taka Yamashita, Kuni Yonekura, Haruo Otsuji, Tadao Kiyono, Mitsuo Taniguchi. At this time, I invite anyone who's had someone that's passed in the month of August, who is not listed today, to please offer Oshoko.
At this time, we will have the sutra chanting Sambutsuge on page 44, led by Reverend Sterling.
Gengigi Ijin Mugoku Nyoze Myo Muyo Tosha Nichigan Mani Shuko Enyo Kai Shinnon Pe Yunyaku Jumoku Nyorai Yogen Chose Murin Shogaku Daion Koru Jipo Kaimon Shojin Sanmai Chie Itokumuro Shushokeu Jintai Zennen Shobun Hokai Gujin Jin no Kugo Gaitai Mumyo Yokunu Seson Yomu Nino Shishi Jin Tokumuro Kukun Kodai Chie Jin Myo Komyo Iso Shindo Saiten Ganga sabun zai sho ho o gado shoji mi fu ge dat mu se jo i kai nin shojin nyoze san mai chi e ijo go se toku bun fu gyo shigan isai kuku isadayan geshi ubun hyaku sen no kuman muro daisho shunyo goja kuyo isai shito shobun funyo gudo kensho fugyaku hinyo goja shobun sekai bufu kage mushu sendo komyo shisho hen shisho kokunyo ze shojin ijin nanro roga sabun kokudo dai ichi kyoshu kimyo dojo chozen kokunyo nayon nimu toso gato aimin dodatsu isai jippo raisho shinnen shoujo ito ga koku keraku anon kobun shinmyo zega shinsho hongan no hi riki shosho yoku jippo seson chi muge joro shison chi ga shingyo kero shinshi shoku dokuchu ga gyo shojin ninju fuke namanda bu namanda bu namanda bu namanda bu namandambu gani shiku doku byodo.
At this time, we will have a Dharma message by
please join me in Gassho, with palms together as I read Shinran Shonin's word from the Kyogyo Shinsho. I have collected true words to aid others in their practice for attaining birth, in order that the process be made continuous, without end and without interruption, by which those who have been born first guide those who come later, and those who come later join those who were born before. This is so that the boundless ocean of birth and death be exhausted. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited because I get to wear my brand new okesa that was given to me at the Father's Day breakfast by Dharma School. It's very shiny. It's very new. Very excited. I hope everyone had a wonderful 4th of July. I did my own family tradition of going to sleep before night. So before we begin today, so every month for the past 3 months, I've had a theme. We first started in May with gratitude for the past, and then in June, gratitude for the present. And this month marks the end of my theme, which is gratitude for the future. And so my talk today will be mainly about that topic. So before we begin, I'd like to start with a question. And that is, how does one cultivate gratitude for the future? And at first, this question might sound a little strange, because for many of us, we feel gratitude when something happens in the moment. You know, we're gifted something, we get a raise, we get a promotion, there's no traffic on the way to temple, your favorite spot in the pew, no one's taken. So when we think about it, gratitude usually belongs either in the past or in the present. It's very hard to think of gratitude in the future or what happens later. But Shinran invites us to think differently about this. He reminds us that none of us begins life alone. Every opportunity we have is the result of countless causes and conditions. Countless acts of kindness, wisdom, and compassion by those who came before us. In the same way, the way we live today becomes part of the causes and conditions that shape someone else's tomorrow, either a stranger, a friend, or even a family member, or in my case, a 4-month-old. Thus, the gratitude we feel in the future is in fact cultivated in the present. And one of the key ways we prepare for that future gratitude is by practicing something called mindfulness. How many people have heard mindfulness? It's like the key word. Everyone uses it nowadays. When we think about mindfulness, this is an easy definition. It says the practice of maintaining a non-judgmental state of heightened or complete awareness of one's thoughts, emotions, or experiences on a moment-to-moment basis. I like the first definition, which says the quality or state of being mindful, which is like explaining cold by being very cold. But I like the second definition better. And if you don't understand that, because it's very wordy, you can think of the cartoon next to it, which is a washing machine, and it says, becoming self-aware. Oh, gross, dirty underpants. Because that's what's inside the laundry machine. So mindfulness might sound familiar to all of us because it's on billboards, it's in magazines. We even have apps nowadays that tell us to practice mindfulness. And while it is often presented as a way to reduce stress or improve our focus, Buddhism understands mindfulness completely differently, with a greater depth and a greater meaning. Focusing on the second quote, there are 2 key parts to this definition that stand out in a Buddhist context. First, mindfulness is moment-to-moment awareness. It asks us to be present with what is happening right now, rather than getting lost in our memories of the past or the future or yesterday or tomorrow or whether or not our France beat the other team in the football tournament. That is the first step in mindfulness, is that moment-to-moment awareness, which changes and fleets from moment to moment. The second thing is that mindfulness is a non-judgmental awareness. We notice our thoughts, our feelings, and without immediately labeling them good or bad, great or not so great, instead, we allow those feelings to come and pass without attaching ourselves to it. And where does this come from? Well, in the reading I did for silent meditation this morning, I read a passage from the Bodhikattara Sutra, often translated by the Auspicious Day Sutra. And in there, the Buddha shares, don't chase the past or long for the future. The past is left behind. The future is not yet reached. Right where it is, have insight into whatever phenomena is present, not faltering and not agitated. By knowing it, one develops the mind. So very similar to our quote about mindfulness, it's moment to moment. Okay? It's not attaching meaning and symbols and feelings to it, to not be agitated, to not falter, but knowing it as one develops the mind and letting it pass. This is just the first part of this sutra. Later on, the Buddha goes on to say, ardently do what should be done today. Who knows? Death may come tomorrow. There is no bargaining with mortality. And that seems pretty heavy because we're talking about mortality and there's no guarantee of tomorrow. But the Buddha's words aren't meant to be pessimistic or negative or to scare you. Rather, they remind us that the only place we can truly live is the here and now. We can't live in the future and we can't dwell in the past. The present moment is where wisdom grows in our life, where our gratitude can begin, and the future is quietly shaped with everything we do. So when we think about mindfulness, we can practice this in many different ways. We can meditate, we can chant, we can try and just allow ourselves a peace and quiet out in nature. But I learned this lesson in one of the least spiritual places of my life, and that was shopping for a mattress. So if you've ever shopped for a mattress, it is a very stressful experience. Me and my wife, when we first got together, we had to shop for a mattress, and it was the first time I ever bought one, because I just slept on the same mattress as a kid. I got a really long one. It worked great. And then when I met my wife, we had to find a new mattress, get something that we both work on. And it's really hard shopping for one person. But then shopping for two people that have to sleep on the same thing is twice as hard. Because believe it or not, I am much taller than my wife, so I have to shop for a bed that's longer for me. And we both have different experiences. You know, when I was thinking about mattress shopping, in my head, the first thing that popped up was how it was supposed to go. I'm going to lay on beds, I'm going to relax, I'm going to find the one that just fits perfectly. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be the easiest experience of my life. Not like shopping for a car. But in reality, how it was going was like this. I'm going to shop for a mattress. There are 50 different options. They all look the same. I have no idea which one to pick. And if you've never shopped for a mattress, it is a very expensive investment. These things are not cheap anymore. They are like thousands of dollars. And you're going to sleep on this every single day for the next 10 to 20 years. So it's an investment. You have to make the right choice. There's a lot of pressure. And when I was mattress shopping, we went to different stores, and we would lay on a mattress. And while I was sitting there trying to enjoy what it felt like, I had this really pushy salesman come up to me and goes, do you like this one? Do you want to try another one? Do you want a longer one? Do you want a firm one? Do you want a soft one? Do you want gel? Do you want foam? Do you want springs? And he just kept going and going, and I found myself getting more and more stressed out the longer I sat on this mattress. And eventually I said, you got to go away, man. You're stressing me out. I can't focus. And what I was figuring out is the more option I was given, the more things I was thinking about, the more I became unhappy with what I was experiencing. Even the mattress I was laying on was this really stressful experience, even though it was soft, it was relaxing, and it felt great. My brain just couldn't process it. So the more choices I had, the less present I felt in this option. Eventually, when I told the sales manager to leave me alone for 5 minutes, I need to sit here and just relax, I stopped thinking about all the features and noticed how every mattress felt. I felt a couple more as we laid around, and I realized something that I thought was very funny at the moment. A bed is not a cafeteria where you have to sample every flavor. Instead, it's just simply a place to rest your head. And the more I realized that and thought about it, the more I became detached from all the options, and the more I allowed myself to be present in the moment. So the mattress wasn't really the problem at the moment, or the salesperson that I was blaming. It was my own mind. It kept pulling me into these imaginary futures instead of letting me experience every moment at the time. And how often do we approach life this way? We become overwhelmed by endless possibilities and comparisons. My newest dilemma is shopping for a new car, and I don't know what car to fit in, so I try all these different options. But if we allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by endless possibilities and comparisons, we forget to appreciate the life that is already unfolding among us. This is why mindfulness is so important to us. It gently loosens our grip on control and allows us to start experiencing every moment. You know, when the Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, he observed reality as it was. He discovered that everything was changing. Our bodies, our relationships, our circumstances, and even our thoughts. Yet the change was not the problem that he identified. It was our suffering caused from clinging to ideas, perceptions, not experiencing it for what it is, but experience it for what we think it is, or how we think we should feel about it. So that brings us to our Shin Buddhist tradition today. In Jodo Shinshu, Shinran teaches us that mindfulness goes beyond just merely paying attention to our thoughts and perceptions. It's not like me sitting on a mattress, relaxing, calming myself down, and trying to think about what feels good. Instead, in Jodo Shinshu, every moment becomes an opportunity to reflect mindfully on the innumerable causes and conditions that sustain our lives. When we think about the meals that we have, we can think of the farmers who make the food, the rain that sustains the plant, the sunlight that helps it grow, and the earth's soil that keeps it all together and nourished. Even when we take a breath right here in the Hondo today, we can think of the trees that kindly provide us oxygen, that allow us to breathe and sustain us. And more broadly, when we think about our ancestors, those who came before us, they remind us that our lives are possible only because countless others lived before us. We can't be here without our parents, our grandparents, and our great-great-grandparents. Even if we've never met them, they are integral to us living this very moment. So how do we cultivate this in Jodo Shinshu? We don't cultivate it by meditation or sitting in nature. Instead, we cultivate mindfulness by listening deeply to the Dharma, by opening our hearts to the profound, interdependent causes that sustain us. That is why we are encouraged to listen as if we are hearing it for the very first time. Every talk, no matter how many times we've heard the same person give her the same message with the same quote. We listen as if it's only for me. We don't sit and say, you know who would really benefit from this talk? My husband, or my wife, or my neighbor. They could really use this talk right now. We listen as if it's just for me in this moment. And lastly, we listen as if it's the last occasion we're going to hear it. Because like I shared earlier, there is no bargaining with mortality. There is no guarantee for tomorrow. You may never hear this talk ever again. So appreciating it as it comes and as it goes is one of the most important aspects of listening. By doing this, in Jodo Shinshu, mindfulness naturally gives rise to our gratitude for all of these causes and conditions, which in turn leads us to recite the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. The Nembutsu, in essence, is a heartfelt expression of our gratitude toward awakening to this present moment. It reminds us of the boundless compassion that has already embraced us long before we are aware of it, of all the causes and conditions that continue to work in our lives, even if we never meet them personally. Ironically, this is how we cultivate gratitude for the future, not by dwelling on the future, not by dwelling on the past, but by preparing for it, by awakening to this very moment, allowing ourselves to be more present every day and every moment. For every act of kindness today becomes someone else's cherished memory. Think of it this way. A parent's encouragement fosters a child's confidence. A teacher's patience inspires a future generation. And a volunteer quietly serving at the temple may be the reason why someone comes back and encounters the Dharma in a new way. Our present actions become the causes and conditions for our future gratitude, here and now. So when I reflect on the question, how does one cultivate gratitude for the future? How do we prepare for something that has yet to happen? I am reminded that it is not by chasing tomorrow or clinging to the yesterday, but by wholeheartedly practicing mindfulness in the present. As the Buddha shared from the quote I shared earlier this morning, don't chase the past or long for the future. Only when we stop chasing what is not there can we truly experience what is actually happening. And the more we ground ourselves in these present moments and listen to what is actually happening around us, the more we can recognize the Dharma in our everyday lives, not just at temple, but eating a meal with friends and family, watching our favorite football game, or doing yard work. That is why in our Shin Buddhist tradition, we recite the Nembutsu. It is our humble acknowledgement that this moment, this very life we live, and these gifts arise from a measurable network of causes and conditions which sustain us. And Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion have always embraced us, even if we were not aware of it. We just need to open our ears, our hearts to them by listening, so we can let them work in our lives and become the gifts we live for those who come after us. In that, please join me in Gasho one final time as I read the words of Shinran Shonin from the Kyogyo Shinshu. I have collected true words to aid others in their practice for attaining birth, in order that the process be made continuous, without end and without interruption, by which those who have been born first guide those who come later, and those who come later join those who were born before. This is so that the boundless ocean of birth and death be exhausted. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Sensei, for the Dharma message. At this time, please rise for the Gatha Ondoksan on page 128 and remain standing for the recitation of the three treasures on page 91. Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, No hope is there that we shall be freed from the suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves our supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal brotherhood, free from the bondages of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. At this time, do we have any announcements?
Morning, everyone. As you guys know, we are getting set for Obon on Saturday, August 1st. On Saturday, August 1st, we'll have service get started at 2 o'clock, and that will be followed by dancing later beginning at 6:30. Leading up to our Obon, we will have our Bon Odori practices beginning this Wednesday, beginning at 7 o'clock in the annex. So we'll have practices on all 4 Wednesdays coming up here in the month of July, and then we'll begin our Sunday practices next week, Sunday, after our Sunday service, beginning roughly about 11, and it'll go till about 1 o'clock. All right, thank you.
Hello, the Junior YBA has our annual opportunity drawing with a grand prize of $500. Tickets are $5 each and 4 for $20. Please see me or any other Junior YBA member for tickets.
Hello, everyone. This is just a reminder that we are currently running a school supplies donation drive, partnering with Hope for San Diego. And these school supplies will go to underserved children in our community. So through Sunday, that's next Sunday, July the 12th, we'll be gathering school supplies such as pencils, erasers, pencil sharpeners, and more. For a full list of the items that are needed, please look for the donations box downstairs outside of the office. So next Sunday, if you still have some donations that you want to make, next Sunday is the due date. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Just waving the flag for the Obon Again shop. I come up here and do this periodically. We are continuing to welcome your donations of any Japanese items because this is the big fundraiser for our scholarship fund. We've been doing this for, we figured, 30 years? I don't know, a long time. Yeah, a long time. But it's a fun place. We're going to be open during the breaks of the dance practices upcoming. So if you need something to wear, we're the place to visit. And also we welcome your donations throughout the year because we like making money for the Born Again shop and for the scholarship fund. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Wendy, and we have hand-painted fans, and for the 100th. All proceeds, they're $20, and all proceeds go to BTSD 100. So only 6 left.
Thank you, Wendy. I'm Bill Teague. I'm here for the leftover from the bazaar where we had both a silent auction and a raffle. So we have a few things that haven't been picked up yet. I just wanted to mention, there are a number of silent auction items downstairs. You may, during hospitality, just want to check them out if you happen to know the person who purchased it. and they're agreeable. You're welcome to take it to them if that's convenient for you. We will be contacting them one more time because we hate for anybody to not get the thing that they wanted. And there are 2 bazaar prizes. I'll just mention, I don't know if anybody is friends with or lives near Jeff, and I think it's Laura Wiedeker, but they won a prize. We happen to be good friends with Carol Estes, Toshie Estes, who won another bazaar prize, so we'll be taking care of that for her. But this gives me an opportunity to thank you again for your kind support for both of those programs. It turned out to be a very good year for us at the bazaar. As most of you know, the funds from that all go to our maintenance and improvement, which helps us keep our campus clean and safe and up to date. Thank you very much.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Nice to see so many of you here today on this 4th weekend. Have a few announcements. Been making announcements about the Kieshiki affirmation ceremony. It's to receive your Buddhist name, and that will be for the weekend of, it'll be on Sunday, September 20th, as part of our 100th anniversary. And this is the month where if you'd like to fill out the application, the deadline is July 26th. And so if you're interested, application form is here with all the information. You get to fill out, choose your own character that best describes your personality. And then Bishop Harada will choose the second character for you. You only have 2 opportunities to receive a Buddhist name, and the opportunity is now, it would be the best time to receive it if you do not have one. Otherwise, the other time you would receive it is when you're after you pass away. So these forms are downstairs in the office, so please take one if you're interested, and July 26th is the deadline. Brevin mentioned about Obon. Our guest speaker for the Obon service is Limban Yuki Sugahara from the Sacramento Betsuin Buddhist Church, and he will provide the message, both English and Japanese messages for that service on August 1st. And lastly, the temple is chartering a bus to attend the Las Vegas Obon the weekend of, it'll be August 15th through the 17th, so it's Saturday through Monday. The Obon in Vegas is on the 15th, so if you're interested, we're taking signups for that up until probably through up through next weekend. Okay? Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jason, and I feel like every week I come up and I berate you guys with scam information, and I know it's just too much to hold into your head, right? So what we've done here is I've got a hold of a bunch of really nifty and compact documentation. And this isn't a whole list of a million things to look out for or do. It's just a couple words. And it's a bookmark, so it's really convenient. You can use it in your normal life. And maybe as you're reading your book, you'll see the tip on here and it'll get ingrained in your head. It's not a ton of stuff that you have to remember to do or be active about. It's just, some paper to take home that you can see from time to time. So we'll have these down in the office, and every week, actually, we're gonna have a different scam reminder. This week, it's all about if you're getting your home fixed up, just a couple tips to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of. And I'll just read them now since I'm up here. Get recommendations from people you trust, so talk to people you know. Get at least 3 written estimates, so not over the phone, not over the internet, but physical written estimates, and finally get proof of license and insurance from the contractor you deal with. So yeah, I'll have these down in the office, and every week I'll have some new thing, and I'll come up here and I'll tell you guys all about it, and you can go down and take it home and share it with people you know. Thank you.
This concludes this portion of the service. Thank you for everybody who helped make this service possible. We will continue with the Japanese service led by Certified Minister Assistant Yukari Williams. For those of you not staying for the Japanese service, please feel free to come up and do a shoko. Thank you.
これから日本語法話を始めます。今日は英語のトランスレーションがモニターに出されますので、モニターの近くにどうぞお座りください。I'm gonna give my Japanese talk right now, and the Japanese translation will be displayed on the monitor. So please sit near the monitor. Thank you. Namandavits, 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 namandavits. それでは、まず最初に、三啓門を拝読いたします。人参受けがたし、今すでに浮く。仏法聞きがたし、今すでに聞く。好み根性に向かってどせずんば、さらにいずれの章に向かってか、好みをどせん。大種もろもろともに、死神に三方に消え、仕立て祀るべし。自ら仏に消え仕立て祀る。まさに願わくは主情とともに大道を大下して無常意を起こさん。自ら法に気仕立て祀る。まさに願わくは主情とともに深く海蔵に入りて知恵海のごとくならん。自ら僧に帰え仕立て祀る。まさに願わくは主情とともに大師を通りして一切無下ならん。無常人人未明の方は百千万号にも会うことかたし。我今検問し授事することを得たり、願わくは如来の真実義を下出し立て祀らん。ナマンダーブツ、ナマンダーブツ、ナマンダーブツ、ナマンダーブツ。皆さんおはようございます。メガネを持ってこなかったので、なんかちゃんと見えませんでした。それでは、これから日本語法話を始めます。もう一度合唱をお願いいたします。生死の深いほとりなし、親しく沈める我らおば、御陀具勢の船のみぞ、乗せて必ず渡しける。ナマンダーブツ、ナマンダーブツ、ナマンダーブツ、ナマンダーブツ、ナマンダーブツ。皆さんおはようございます。本日はようこそのお参りでございます。皆さんいかがお過ごしでしょうか。ただいま拝読いたしましたのは、親鸞上人様がお書きになられました高僧和算でございます。本日はこの高僧和算を通して阿弥陀様のお慈悲について皆様と一緒に味わっていこうと思います。このご和算は龍樹菩薩の教えに基づいて書かれています。龍樹菩薩というのは浄土真宗が大切にしている7人のお坊様の一番最初の一番古い時代のお坊様でございます。インドのお坊様です。今日はこの龍樹菩薩のお話 はしないんですけれども、一応お話をこの龍樹菩薩は、12来を書かれた方です。この五和山では、私たちの住んでいる世界、または私たちの人生が、海に例えられています。で、どんな海かと言いますと、とても広く終わりがなく岸が見えない海でございます。私が想像した海はなんか暗くて、とても月も星も出てない、とても暗い海かなって想像しています。この海は、私たちの住んでいる世界、迷いと苦しみの世界を、表しています。また、この世界の中で生きている、迷い苦しみながら生きている私たちの様子も親鸞上人様はこの五和山に描かれています。仏教では私たちの世界とか、それから人生を迷いや苦しみの世界だと言っています。それはどうしてでしょうか。それは私たちは物事が思うように、自分たちの思うように進まないと苦しくなってしまうからです。私たちはすべてを自分中心に見ます。すべてのことを自分中心に見ています。なので、本当のことが見ることできない、真実を見ることができないからです。そして私たちは迷っているとか苦しんでいるとかいうそういう実感もありません。それはどうしてかっていうと、私たちは煩悩にまみれているからです。一方で、阿弥陀様のお慈悲は船に例えられています。阿弥陀様はその船に私たちを乗せてお浄土へ渡してくださいます。お浄土とは悟りの世界でございます。大きな岩があるとします。こんな大きな岩ね。大きな岩があるとします。で、この岩は水に入れたら沈んでしまいます。その岩は浮かぶことができません。だけど、その岩をまた大きなお船に乗せたら、前へ沈まないで前へ進むことができます。親鸞上人様はこの私たちこの煩悩まみれの私たちをこの岩に例えられていらっしゃいます。阿弥陀様が私たちをそんなに重くて煩悩にまみれて重くて海に沈んでしまうような私たちを阿弥陀様のお船に乗せていただければ、 お浄土へ向かって進むことができるのです。阿弥陀様は、仏様になる前に、法蔵菩薩様と呼ばれていました。法蔵菩薩は、苦しみ迷い苦しんでいる私たちを救いたいと願いを立てられました。そして長い間修行を重ね、お浄土を完成され、ついに阿弥陀仏となられたと伝われています。親鸞上人様は、阿弥陀様は色や形を超えた知恵の働きであると教えてくださっています。私たちは命を終えるときに阿弥陀様と共にお浄土へ参らせていただくんです。けれども、阿弥陀様を理解することは、とっても難しいことであります。でもね、このご阿さんが教えてくださるように、私たちはもう阿弥陀様のお船に乗っているんです。で、この阿弥陀様のお船の上で私たちは人生を歩んでいるんです。毎日毎日をこのお船の上で過ごしています。泣いたり笑ったりしながら楽しい時もあるし、悲しい日もある、人と別れな出会いがあったり、また別れがあったり、もういろんなことがあるんですけれども、そういう日々を私たちは阿弥陀様のお船の上で過ごしています。ということは、私たちは阿弥陀様のお慈悲にいつも包まれているっていうことになります。けれども、阿弥陀様の上でその人生を歩んでいるっていうことは、私は時々実感が湧きません。だからこそ、お寺にお参りをして阿弥陀様のお話を聞かせていただくということはとっても大事なことだと思います。なぜなら阿弥陀様のお話は一度聞いただけでは、十分じゃないなって思うんです。何度も何度も聞かせていただいて、それでその度にまた新しい気づきがあったり、それから新しい思いが出てきたり、また何か心にストンと感じることがあったりします。それに阿弥陀様のお話、何度も何度も聞かせていただかないと私忘れちゃうかもしれないんです。忘れたくないし、阿弥陀様のお話を大切に聞いていきたいと思います。この小和さんにもありますように、 私たちは阿弥陀様のお船の上で人生を歩ませていただいています。そのことを、素直に受け入れ、素直に受け入れ、喜びとして受け止めることができたなら、どんなに心強いことでしょう。どのような時も阿弥陀様のお慈悲の中に生かされている、そのことを聞かせていただきながら日々を過ごしてまいりたいと思います。どうぞ皆様もお寺でのお話や仏様の教えを大切に聞かせていただきたいと思います。それではもう一度合唱礼拝をお願いいたします。ナマンダウスナマンダウスナマンダウスナマンダウス。ありがとうございます。